A chilling new report warning the U.S. about China's vow to take Americans hostage if the DOJ doesn't drop its prosecution of Chinese scientists. The Wall Street Journal reporting, quote, "The Chinese message has been blunt. The U.S. should drop prosecutions of Chinese scholars in American courts, or Americans in China might find themselves in violation of Chinese law." Here to discuss, Fox News senior strategic analyst and retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, thank you so much for being here. We're going to start with China, and then we're going to get some comments on Iran and Russia as well. But what the U.S. is saying is that these scientists concealed from immigration authorities their active duty status with the People's Liberation Army. Therefore, we've detained them. Should we take seriously that China will do the same to Americans?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, this was so-called visa fraud. These are actually research scientists, as you indicated, associated with the People's Liberation Army, here to do what? To spy. They're here to conduct espionage. They got caught at it, and they've been arrested. China wants to retaliate. They've done this kind of retaliation with the Canadians right now. They got two of them arrested for a Chinese executive from Huawei who they have arrested. And they also have done it with the Australians and the Swedes. The difference is we're arresting spies. What China will likely do is detain Americans who have done nothing. Yes. They are not guilty of anything. So in that sense, it's not like the Cold War with the Soviet Union. We arrested their spies, they arrested ours, and we exchanged them at some point. So yes, when you started out, Pete, and said they're hostages, that would be an appropriate description of what the Chinese intend to do.
It's such a demonstration of the rule of law. Of course, they're in violation, so they're arrested. Over there, that doesn't matter. They'll find any reason whatsoever and certainly could escalate the situation between us and China. And I want to get your take on Iran as well. There has been a UN arms embargo, meaning you can't sell tanks, you can't sell fighter jets to Iran, that has now expired under the Iranian nuclear deal that President Trump pulled us out of, but the world is still attempting to recognize. Why was this allowed to expire for Iran, and what will it mean?
Yeah, this is another flaw in that so-called JCPOA or nuclear deal that the Obama administration entered into with Iran in 2015. It meant that in 5 years, and here we are, 2020, 5 years later, the weapons embargo that was imposed is over. And it means that they can't sell and they can't buy. And as you said, all advanced missiles, tanks, airplanes, etc. The reason why the embargo was there is because Iran's behavior, aggressively and malign behavior, destabilizing the Middle East, war in Syria, war in Yemen, using Iranian-backed proxies in Iraq, attacking Israel through Syria on a regular basis using rockets and everything. The fact is that behavior is what the embargo was trying to stop. And the nuclear deal has now, because it is so fundamentally flawed, the nuclear deal is permitting that arms embargo to go away. And the United States tried to do something about it, Pete, went to the UN, tried to get a UN resolution passed to extend the deal, which made sense, and that resolution failed. So here's where we are, and that's the fact. The Iranians are strapped for money, though. Yeah. So they're not going to be able to buy a lot because of the U.S. sanctions that are imposed on them. Russia and China are the likely candidates to sell to them, for sure, as we go forward.
Unbelievable. Speaking of Russia, the White House has rejected Vladimir Putin. He responded to the U.S. nuclear arms proposal that was negotiated under the Obama-Biden administration. So where are we on missiles and whether or not we should be in an agreement with Russia, and why does it matter?
Well, this is the START treaty, and this is a treaty that restricts the number of nuclear weapons that the United States and Russia can have. And it's a treaty that makes enormous sense and helps to maintain stability in the world. The restriction is odd numbers, around 1,700 each. And what were we talking about? Ballistic and submarine missiles that deliver nuclear weapons out of silos and submarines, also air-delivered nuclear bombs from our strategic bombers. That's where the restriction is. And what we're trying to do is extend it another 5 years. The United States thought we had a deal over a week ago, Pete, when our negotiator said, listen, the Russians have agreed at least to a framework, not signed the deal yet, but to the framework that will extend the treaty a year and they will freeze all nuclear weapons development. Within 24 hours, the Russians came out and said that's a fantasy. So something happened there. Speculation is Putin got into this, said, no, I don't want to do that. And further speculation, and that's all it is that he didn't want to give President Trump a huge political victory close to an election.
Interesting. General Jack Keane breaking it all down for us this morning. We really appreciate your time. Dangerous world.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good talking to you, Pete.